Hey everybody, I'm doing a little bit of a different video in a different space. Today I decided I was gonna talk about my toolbox and why it's important to have a toolbox. I am going into my graduate studies right now, and I know a lot of people my age that don't have like a toolkit or even like a small bag of tools or anything like that. And I try to tell all my friends that I know it's expensive, but there are cheap options, and it's invaluable because you can then learn to do things around the house, and fix little things, and eventually they're gonna pay for themselves if you're using these things to fix things that you pay someone else to do. Now, obviously, there are circumstances where you don't want to do it yourself because you're not a professional, but I think it's always good to have a set of tools that you know how to use, and to try to accumulate some over your lifetime. I'm lucky enough to have a father that helped me build this toolbox with some of his tools. So I've got a very complete set of whatever I could need at home here. So I'm very fortunate in that regard. But, you know, especially if you're like moving out college age, consider trying to build like a small toolbox for yourself, because it's great to have, and it's nice to not have to borrow things, and you can fix things on your own. It's just a great thing to have. It's very practical. Anyway, let's talk about a few different things first. So I'm going to talk about first I'm going to talk about my drill bits. So you can see my cordless drill up there. These are drill bits that can be used with that for drilling holes. Right, so different sizes. These aren't absolutely necessary in my eyes, but they're good if you're doing like home improvement stuff or, you know, anything like that. They're very useful, especially if you're trying to put a screw in and you don't want to like destroy a board or something. You can put a pilot hole in, and it'll prevent that board from cracking when you put that screw in. So that's very useful, among other things. Oh, sorry, one more thing. This is a socket set. I'm scared this is going to make a lot of noise when I open it. No, we're good. Ooh, this is scary. I'm scared they're going to fall out. Okay, so again, sorry, this is something that not everyone will likely have, but it is something that is extremely useful for whether you're working on vehicles, whether you're working on appliances, things like that. You have all your different size sockets, both imperial and metric. You have your ratchets, right? Different sizes of those for different uses. You have extenders, so you can put that on the ratchet so you can reach into things. I have different sizes of those. We also have swivel joints, so you can get into harder to reach places, right? Let's say, for example, I needed to reach down to a bolt that is like in between some things that I can't reach. So I'm gonna grab, for example, actually I'll do this since it's already out. To make a nice noise, I don't know. I don't know if you can even hear that, but that's your ejection button. So you'd, oops, that's on the wrong size. So you can see the square end there. You can insert that there, and now it's on. And then say you needed to, I don't know, whatever size you need. I'm trying to see which one was the easiest to take off. These do not come off easy. There we go. You could, this is kind of ridiculous, but you could then put that down in there, and then from farther away you can loosen or tighten however you need to. So right now I'd be tightening. I know it's reversed in the video, but I'm going right. Oops, sorry. Going right. And if I needed to loosen, I could go. Again, it's reversed in the video, so. But yeah. And then if you're ready to take it off, you just pull that off, put it back where it goes. There's a reason that they're labeled. It's also always good to try to be as organized as you can. Then you press this little button, and basically what that does, you can see there's a small ball bearing right there that allows that to drop down so that you can pull it off. See how it raises? Let's see if I can make up a lot of loud noises now. Okay, here we go. Okay, come on. Why aren't you closing? There it goes. Okay. So there's my socket set. Then we have the actual toolbox. Let's get into that. I spent way too much time on the other stuff. So, something to note, a lot of these you can't open the drawers unless the top is open. So you need to unlatch it. And then you can open the top. And then these drawers will slide freely. Cool? Alright, so let's go through these tools that I have here in this top. We have tape measure, which is always good to have. Very, very practical for the home. Whether you're measuring like furniture, like can I fit this here? You can measure the space, and then you can measure your furniture and see if it'll fit there. This is a lock for that, so you can hold your measurement. Otherwise, it'll retract automatically. So. Yeah, tape measure. See if I can make a mess here. Here's a little small hacksaw. This one's kind of, I need a new blade, but just for cutting simple things. It's not even really sharp right now because I've destroyed it, but this one you can replace blades on. Most of them you probably can nowadays, but yeah, it's a very simple tool. Here's some utility knife blades. So this is like basically razors for a knife. They are on a magnet so they don't go flying around, which is smart. Here is a hide mallet. This is so you're not, this helps prevent like scratching and damaging of certain items when you're trying to hammer something in. This is a lot softer than, say, metal. So another good thing to have would be like a rubber mallet. It would be kind of the same thing. So that's always nice. So this is just rolled hide from an animal. Here's a claw hammer. This is your basic hammer. You know, you got your claw for removing nails and such, or prying. Basically a pry bar, right? You'd put the nail in between there, and then you'd pull it up, right? And then obviously your hammerhead. So for driving nails and such. I like this one. It does have a crack, but I like this hammer because it's just like the most generic looking hammer I've ever seen. Just makes me laugh. I've got a collection of zip ties for whatever I could need zip ties for. I've repaired bags where I've like lost a hook or something that keeps a strap secured and it's broken or something, and so I just put zip ties over it and that helps hold it. Here I have a pipe wrench that I have yet to use, but just in case. These are adjustable, and you can, you know, wrench joints on a pipe or something. You can see it is adjustable like that. It's like a very old pipe wrench. Very, again, generic looking, but I like it because of that. I don't know, it's a weird thing to say that I like it because it's generic, but who knows why? I don't really know. Here's a level. Levels are really useful, especially if you're hanging things up on a wall. You can put it flat on top of something and it'll tell you how level it is based on the bubble. So you can see that little air bubble. If you get it right between those lines, you know you're pretty much level, meaning parallel to the ground, right? And there's also one here, so if you're doing something this way or something vertically, you can look at this one right here and try to level there. And then there's a diagonal one as well, and you can see that right here there's a magnet, so you can actually like put it on something and it'll stay, right? Which is nice. That's a very useful tool, and they're very cheap usually, from my experience. These are more razors for whatever you could possibly need to cut. This is some drill bits, just some random drill bits. I've got some star bits and stuff. I've never actually had to use those. This is some sort of scraper or blade. So this is what those razor blades are for. So you can cut or scrape however you need to. Always be very careful, obviously, with sharps. Make sure that it always is retracted and that it's locked. So this you actually have to push down to push forward. I can't push it forward without pushing it down first, right? here's another utility blade, utility knife. It's like a box cutter type, right? And this one, of course, you can take that blade off and replace it. They're meant to be disposable, or not disposable, but replaceable. Again, this one you have to press down and then pull back, and then it'll lock. And see, I can't push that forward without it. Also, it has a belt loop, so I've used this many times for different things. I just kept it on my pocket. This is Teflon tape for fitting pipes together, threads, putting it over threads to keep it from leaking, to hold it on. This, I can't remember what these are called, oh my god. Something gauge. They're for measuring between items. It's like very thin spaces. I can't remember what these are called. Something gauge. Shoot, that's embarrassing. So these show you your measurement. So that's how wide they are, or how tall they are, I guess I should say, right? So if you have to measure between something, like two items, you would take this and you would slide it in between, and that way you can tell, oh, okay, so it is 0.305 millimeters, you know, so they're pretty useful in certain cases. I've really only used them for adjusting guitars and guitar actions, so that, you know, they're not bad to have. Have a Sharpie, always good to have writing tools. Sorry. These are two just brushes, cleaning brushes. Both of these have different bristles. I don't know what these are, probably just steel wool. This is a brass, I think. Right, so these are steel, this is brass, and you can just use them to clean items, especially outdoors, anything on vehicles. It's not painted. They're nice to use for that. But do be careful with these, because if you do poke yourself with the bristles, it will hurt. It will stab you, because it is metal. Here's another saw. Again, you can replace that blade. I've never used this one, but it's a newer one, obviously. Yeah, another saw for cutting things, soft things. So think wood or plastic, things like that. Thin wood, soft wood. Here's an adjustable crescent wrench. Pretty simple mechanism. This one does actually have a measurement on the side, so you can see how large the size or small the size is of whatever you're tightening or loosening. Here is a putty knife. So this is another kind of scraping tool. You don't really want to pry with this because it is very flimsy. But I've used this to scrape paint and other things quite often, so that's always good to have. Let's see, this is just a piece of wood. I don't really know why this is in here, but I'll set that. Well, it's always good to have something like that in case you need it. Oh, this is a plastic brush, so this is the same as those other ones. It's just plastic instead of metal bristles. Here's another adjustable wrench. This one's larger. You can see the size difference here, right? This is another extremely useful tool. You should probably have something like this around the house. You never know. You never know. Here's a box cutter or another utility knife, whatever you want to call it. This is like your typical box cutter. Again, replaceable blades. Always keep that retracted. Never leave that out because that is extremely sharp. What else do I have here? Interesting. That doesn't go there. I have this pick. It's like looks like a screwdriver, but you can see that the tip of it doesn't have any sort of head. It's just like a spike, so you can use that to poke at things if you need to, clean things. I don't really know why I have that here, in that spot. So this right here is a voltage detector. Sorry. So if I'm trying to think, where's the light switch? I don't have a light switch over here. If I were to put this up to a wall and like near a light switch, I could find where the electricity was running. So if you're looking for a cable behind a wall or something like that, then this is useful for that. So let me actually go do that real quick. So that sound is just me pointing it at the above the light switch. So it tells me that the voltage is running through that area. It's not totally practical, but if you're doing stuff with electricity, it's good to have. Okay, so let's move on. These are Allen wrenches, various sizes. I have imperial and metric. These are very useful for different little things. I've known a lot of friends that have been like, oh shoot, I don't own an Allen wrench and I need one. And I'm like, I got you, don't worry. But especially if you're like, for me, being a guitar player, a lot of shit needs Allen wrenches. So it's good to have these on hand. I have a small stubby screwdriver right here. This is a flathead, right? I think it's also called common. I don't remember if that's a thing or not. I feel like it is. Here's another flathead. This is my most used one, probably. Yeah. This is a 1/4 size. So if you don't know, there are two basic types of screwdrivers that you're gonna find. You're gonna find your flathead or your common screwdriver, and then you're gonna have your Phillips head. Some people call it cross, but it's a Phillips head screwdriver. So those are your two basic types of screwdrivers. Good things to have. I know there's some that have like you can like put bits in the handles. Those are nice for convenience, but they're not usually as sturdy, but they're still nice because you can just have everything in one and you can do that. Those are options that are good for people on a budget that can't necessarily collect an entire toolbox of stuff. I'm getting so dirty on my hands right now. Here's another cross or Phillips head. This is larger. And this is another large flathead. A stubby little Phillips. And then I have a small flathead and a small, why can't I think? Phillips head. These are also magnetic, so I don't know if you can't really tell. No, but those are always nice to have because you can unscrew something and then it won't fall because it'll stick to the head of the screwdriver. Here's another flathead. This one's nice and long and thin, so you can reach into things. Again, the thing that is good to think about is like, what am I actually needing? Don't use the wrong, if you can help it, don't use the wrong tool or use the right tool for the right job, I should say, because you can really screw up a screw by using the wrong size head. You can see how different those are. You might be able to get the job done if you use something like this for something that actually needs this size, but you are going to mess up the top of this, and you might even screw up the screw because it doesn't fit well enough, and so you're putting all that torque. It's gonna shred the top of that screw, and it's gonna be even harder to work with later on. So that's something to consider. Here is another flathead. Phillips. I'll just have all of these. I don't necessarily need to show all of these. This is a paint can opener. I don't really know why that's in that one, but you know, you can pry it up. Oh, I know why. Because a lot of the time I'll use a screwdriver to open a paint can when you have an actual tool for it, so I just keep it there because I'll usually look for that. This is a punch. I don't really know why this is here either. So you would, to punch something out, you'd hit that with the back, on the back with a hammer, and it would push something out. Here are some interesting screwdrivers. These are like S-shaped. Interesting. I've never used those. I don't know. Here's another pick. Just a different shape. This one's at a 90-degree angle. This one is a socket screwdriver. This is good to have too, because if you don't need to use a wrench, you can put a socket on that, and you can screw it in like that. Whatever bolt you're needing to screw on, or nut. So, yeah, screwdrivers, good to have. That's everything in there. Oh, I'll put this back. Next, I'll go through this one quick. Sorry. So these are crescent wrenches, right? And they also have a ratchet on the back, so you can put that on a nut, and you can unscrew that pretty easily. So I have a lot because there's all these different sizes, and I have both imperial and metric. So you have metric sizes in millimeters, and then you have your imperial in inch. So it's good to have both because it's kind of ridiculous how many different standards there are. Well, there's not really a standard in a lot of things, so it's hard to know. But I also have a socket set with star bits. I've never had to use this. I don't really know what you'd use it for. I don't know. So there's my wrenches. Okay, I gotta move this one. This is my pliers and other miscellaneous. This is cool. I need to undo this. Let's see if I hurt myself doing this. So this looks probably real strange, but it is a very useful tool, and there are much newer kinds. This is what I have right now. So this is for reaching into small spaces. Say you drop something behind a drawer or behind a dresser, you can reach this down there, and if you press this spring, right, watch what comes out the end. You can grab it. So let's say I need to grab this. Boom. So that's a pretty cool tool. There's better options nowadays, but it's always nice to have that. I think this is another voltage detector. Yeah, well, I don't really know. I'm confused. I don't remember what this is for. I know I've used it before, but it's been a really long time. I just got glass from something in the side of my finger. That hurt. That's not good. Anyway, this is some sort of socket. You know, you put that in a socket and this lights up. I can't remember what this is for, what it's called, but I don't remember why I necessarily have that. This is a spark plug, not a spark plug cleaner, sorry, a terminal, battery terminal cleaner. What is it called? I can't remember. So on your car batteries, you have two terminals. You have a positive and a negative. And sometimes there's buildup around it. You don't really want to touch that. There's other ways to clean it too, but this is useful because you can put it over the terminal and you twist it like that. And if you look inside, there's these metal bristles, and that'll clean it off for you so you can get a better connection. Say you're jumping your car or something like that, or you're trying to reattach your cables from your car. A pretty neat tool, not bad to have. This is a wire stripper, so you put a wire, like say with rubber insulation, and you clamp it like that, and you can pull off that rubber insulation. So you like go around it, and then you can take that rubber insulation off, because this cuts all the way around the wire without cutting the wire. You could probably also cut it, but I don't think that's what this is for. I think this has a lock. No, it doesn't. These are vice grips. These are very useful. So this works by, say you're grabbing something, and then you need to hold onto it really, really tight. Let's do this. So let's say I need to grab onto this. Sorry. So now it's locked on there. So you can adjust how wide before it locks. And then this is your release, and it comes off, yeah? So, again, you can, this is probably a bad idea. Yeah, let's not do that. That's the dumbest thing I've done. These are nice though, because if you're trying to like, I know I've used them to get nails that are stuck. I'll clamp on the end of the nail, and I'll clamp that on, and then I can pull at it, right? If I can't get a pry bar or something in there, or the nail, the claw of the hammer, these are nice. They're just good for a lot of different things. These are cutters. I use these a lot for, honestly, mostly for cutting guitar strings right now, but anything thin, metal, or otherwise, you can use these to cut. They're useful. I remember my dad would give me pieces of old wire when I was little, and I'd have similar snippers as these, and I would just cut them into pieces, and I don't know, I just thought that was fun for some reason. I have another pair right here, and the reason I have these is because my grandfather used to have a pair exactly like these, and my dad found the pair, and then I found these later on in a resale store, and they're the exact same kind, so I thought I should get myself a copy as well. These are really well used, so I probably wouldn't use these for anything. You can even see that it's chipped in the center right there, and they've got dents in the blade. Someone used these to cut something very hard. They're testing the tornado sirens. Here's an adjustable claw. Well, I can't remember what these are referred to as, but you can make this as wide or as small as you need to. Just like, say you need to grab something wide, you can make it tall. You can make it small, tall or small. This is a similar thing. This one is a little bit different because you have some spring mechanism, and it can like ratchet and lock. So you can see that it stays in place. You just have to kind of push that forward, and it'll lock because there's teeth right here. I kind of like that noise. Sorry for the sirens. There's not really much I can do about that other than not record this when they do that. But sounds like they're stopping. Here's another good pair of pliers. These are hefty. These also have cutters, so you can see this thin part right here. That's good for cutting as well. And then you can obviously grab onto stuff really well with that. It's very large. Here are needle nose pliers. I've used these more times than I can even count. These also have a wire cutter on them. These are so useful for just a million different things, right? Because you can just reach and grab, reach and grab. So very nice to have. Very, very nice. I have some electrical tape. I don't really know why, but I have some. And then these are another pair of adjustable pliers. You have a wide grip and you have a small grip, right? So yeah. And actually I think that's the last bit that I have. So let me do this and start putting stuff back away. Something that my parents always taught me. After you're done using tools, you put them back exactly where and how you found them for the next person that needs to use them, which I think is a great way to think about organization, because then it's not about you, it's about the next person. It's just about being considerate. Let's not be stubborn. Okay. So let's load all these large tools into this top shelf again. I forgot to put these in here. Sorry. Getting impatient and excited. Okay. So let's start with this pipe wrench. This is heavy. Put in our adjustable wrench. Another adjustable wrench. Do the level. We'll put the level here. Maybe we can save some space. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna work. I'll just put it down right there. Cool. Well, this is a box of razor blades. Just put that down here. Here are my brushes. My zip ties. Feeler gauge, that's what they're called. I figured it out. Okay, feeler gauge set. That's what that's called. Feeler gauge. It came to me in a dream. Okay. Here's this scraper. Just put my Teflon tape back. This is my utility knife. Put that back. This little bit set. Got my saw. I think this goes somewhere else. Oh, this is right. Put that there. And I'll put my hide mallet in here. Here's my utility knife blades. This is my hacksaw. And then my tape measure. And that's gonna be it. Yeah. This was fun. I like this video already, so I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know this was longer, but if you enjoyed it, let me know. If you have any questions, ask, and I'll do my best to answer them. I know I rambled a lot in this video, but if you stuck through it, thank you so much. And hope that you have been enjoying the videos I've been releasing. I know it's been kind of samey, so I'm going to try to like mix things up a little bit, but I imagine since I'm packing, I'm just going to kind of milk that for content while I'm finishing. So you might see more similar videos coming up, but I'll try to vary it. And soon enough there will be a very different environment, and there will be a very different circumstance for me to be making videos, and that'll be interesting for all of us involved. So I'm excited, and I hope y'all are too. Sorry. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Check out some other videos. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Tell your friends and family you love them. Just past the 40-minute mark, so it's about time. All right, later.